The film begins with Chang-soo rushing to catch the bus, not only to get to work, but to see his crush, Ah-ra, who rides the same route. However, she doesn't even seem to notice him. Chang-soo arrives late to work as usual, and is scolded by his boss, manager Na, for his tardiness and disheveled appearance. Meanwhile, Ah-ra, an organized accountant, confronts her superior about misusing the company credit card. Chang-soo's co-worker, Jun-il, encourages him to approach Ah-ra, but Chang-soo is afraid of rejection and is content just seeing her every day. Jun-il then attempts to teach Chang-soo how to talk to women, but gets slapped by a co-worker, Bok-gil. Guess that's the end of the lessons. At the office, Yoon-hee shows Ah-ra a video of a guy working out, gushing about how attractive he is, but Ah-ra isn't impressed. Though single, she still finds life interesting. Meanwhile, Chang-soo is tasked with showing a difficult customer a car for a test drive, much to his displeasure. During lunch, Yoon-hee and Ah-ra run into James, an old fling of Ah-ra's, who works at a restaurant in the same building. James tries to get Ah-ra to spend time with him later, but she rejects his advances. Chang-soo takes Mr. Na's advice to heart and decides to buy a new suit. However, the sales rep discriminates against him, assuming he can't afford the pricey suits. Not wanting to be put down, Chang-soo asks about the prices of shoes, only to be shocked by the outrageous figures. He decides to leave but accidentally knocks over the store's most expensive suit, ripping the seams. Now he's stuck with a 7.7 million won bill. At the office, Jun-il is stunned by the price of the suit, while Chang-soo bursts into tears. When Jun-il tries it on, he makes things worse by ripping it further, leaving Chang-soo even more frustrated. However, Bok-gil takes the suit, fixes it, and returns it without a word. She's definitely an odd one. Later that night, Ah-ra scolds her mom and sister Ah-young for being too noisy. Ah-young dreams of becoming a music superstar with their mom's full support. Tired of their antics, Ah-ra warns Ah-young to stop wasting money, reminding her that she's the one who works hard. The next day, Chang-soo goes solo camping, but loses his meal when a man playing football accidentally hits his plate. Later, Chang-soo drunkenly laments to the man about his lack of courage to approach Ah-ra. While heading back home, Chang-soo has a strange encounter with a man who gives him a bottle of perfume, calling him the chosen one. The next morning, Chang-soo wakes up abruptly, pondering the bizarre dream he had. However, it turns out it wasn't a dream after all, as he finds the perfume in his room. Out of curiosity, he sprays some, inhaling its deep, aromatic fragrance, before running off to work. The perfume proves unusual as every woman who smells it sees Chang-soo as a past lover and chases after him. Even Ah-ra, on the bus, feels her heart flutter when she catches the fragrance. Exhausted from escaping the crowd, Chang-soo arrives late to work again. Mr. Na, ready to scold him, is suddenly disarmed upon smelling the perfume. Curious about its effects, Chang-soo asks Jun-il to smell it, but their awkward moment is interrupted when Mr. Na catches them and starts chasing them around. Ah-ra shares her bus experience with Eun-hee, who dramatically concludes that Ah-ra is in love. Unknowingly to them, a stranger watches Ah-ra, updating details about her on his system. Curious about the perfume, Chang-soo tests it at the boutique, only to be chased by every woman there. While fleeing, he bumps into Ah-ra, who helps him hide but is soon hypnotized by the fragrance. She boldly kisses him, only to snap out of it, horrified, and apologizes before running away. Chang-soo returns to work exhausted, but can't stop thinking about the kiss. Feeling cheerful, he asks Mr. Na about the company dinner, and Mr. Na, still under the perfume's influence, eagerly agrees. At the chicken restaurant, Jun-il notices Mr. Na's odd behavior, while Chang-soo and Mr. Na exchange love shots. Meanwhile, Ah-ra and Yoon-hee arrive at the same restaurant. Ah-ra spots Chang-soo and tries to hide, telling Yoon-hee about him, while Chang-soo also notices her and tells Jun-il. This prompts Jun-il and Eun-hee to try and approach their respective targets, leaving Ah-ra and Chang-soo flustered. Later, as a drunken Ah-ra heads to the bus stop, Chang-soo, also intoxicated, follows her, silently wondering if she'd like him without the perfume. Summoning his courage, Chang-soo sits beside Ah-ra on the bench. She recognizes him instantly and drunkenly invites him to sleep with her. The next morning, he wakes up to find her beside him, recalling their passionate encounter the night before. When Ah-ra wakes, she's horrified to find herself in bed with Chang-soo. Panicking, she tries to sneak out while he apologizes and attempts to explain, but she ignores him and rushes off. Later, overcome with embarrassment, Ah-ra has a meltdown on the road as she recalls the night's events. Determined to avoid an awkward encounter with Chang-soo, she opts to take a different bus instead. However, Chang-soo also happens to be in the bus, and they both try to hide when they notice each other. The tension is palpable, but as Ah-ra gets off at her stop, Chang-soo musters the courage to hand her his card through the window just as the bus pulls away. At work, Chang-soo seeks Junil's advice, pretending it's for an imaginary friend. He admits the relationship began with lies, but worries it won't survive the truth. Junil advises him to stop being a coward and apologize. Meanwhile, Ah-ra and Eun-hee visit a tarot reader during lunch. Despite his clearly fake predictions, Ah-ra asks if her relationship will work. The reader claims they're destined to be, leaving Ah-ra's heart fluttering. Later, the company behind the perfume monitors its test subjects and declares Chang-soo's case a success. Later that evening, Chang-soo is thrilled when Ah-ra texts him to meet the next day. They meet at Gwangyo Aqua Planet the next day, where the stunning aquatic displays create a magical atmosphere. Gathering his courage, Chang-soo confesses his feelings, and to his delight, Ah-ra admits she feels the same and formally introduces herself. Later, while walking home, Chang-soo nervously hesitates to hold her hand, but Ah-ra intertwines their fingers, leaving him overjoyed. Their growing chemistry is undeniable. Over the next few scenes, Chang-soo and Ah-ra's relationship blossoms, but trouble looms. The stalker watching Ah-ra is revealed to be James, who disapproves of her new romance. The following day, Ah-ra formally introduces Chang-soo to Eun-hee during a date. Initially unimpressed by Chang-soo, Eun-hee's attitude shifts when he mentions inviting a male friend. She eagerly describes her ideal type, but is let down when Junil arrives. Well, until she notices how handsome he is. Eun-hee and Junil quickly grow infatuated, ending up in each other's arms. Later, Ah-ra admits her envy of Ah Young's carefree life, but shares that she now feels content because of Chang-soo. As they prepare to leave, Chang-soo asks Ah-ra to wait for him and rushes off, leaving her curious. Noticing Ah-ra's foot bleeding from her heels, Chang-soo rushes to the pharmacy and returns with supplies. Touched by his thoughtfulness, Ah-ra embraces him warmly, thanking him for coming into her life. This heartfelt moment leads to a passionate kiss as they bask in their growing love. On his way home, Chang-soo suddenly realizes he hasn't used the perfume since he started talking to Ah-ra, making him even more excited. The next day, Chang-soo happily chats with Ah-ra at work, but his mood shifts when James, disguised as a customer, reveals he created the perfume that reminds people of their first love, claiming such love isn't real. Troubled by the encounter, Chang-soo grows moody even when Ah-ra arrives for their date. However, her insistence on trying new dishes quickly lifts his spirits, and the two end up having a wonderful time together. Ah-ra suggests a camping trip, and Chang-soo eagerly agrees, unaware they're being watched by an angry James. On his way home, Chang-soo throws the perfume away, finally ready to move on from it. During the camping trip, Eun-hee and Junil join in, and the group enjoys roasting ribs together. However, Chang-soo is stunned to find the discarded perfume in his camp bag. Confused, he notices James walking by, only to realize it's just his imagination playing tricks on him. Chang-soo takes Ah-ra for a walk, leaving Eun-hee and Junil alone. Seizing the moment, Junil asks Eun-hee to be his girlfriend, only to be hit repeatedly when she reveals she assumed they were already dating because he kissed her. Meanwhile, Chang-soo gifts Ah-ra a beautiful necklace for her birthday. Touched, Ah-ra feels like destiny brought them together, but her words leave Chang-soo feeling uneasy. Chang-soo tries to tell Ah-ra something, but is interrupted by a call from an unknown number, which he declines. Curious, he asks if she's received any strange calls recently, but she assures him she hasn't. Noticing his unease, Ah-ra asks what's bothering him, but he brushes it off, blaming lack of sleep. On his way home, Chang-soo encounters James, who warns him to stay away from Ah-ra. James claims their love isn't real, and that Ah-ra wouldn't have been interested in him without the perfume, leaving Chang-soo devastated. The next day, Ah-ra finds a boxed gift on her desk, a bottle of perfume. Assuming it's from Chang-soo, she's touched. However, later that evening, Chang-soo clarifies over a call that he didn't send the gift. As she processes this revelation, she runs into James and ends the call abruptly, much to Chang-soo's dismay. James boldly reveals to Ah-ra that the perfume manipulated her into falling for Chang-soo, claiming it was his creation. Dismissing this as absurd, Ah-ra tries to leave, but James insists she ask Chang-soo about it to confirm the truth. That night, Ah-ra struggles with her thoughts, ignoring Chang-soo's calls. The next day at work, Chang-soo grows increasingly disheartened by her silence despite his texts and calls. Later, he's shocked to find Ah-ra waiting outside his door with drinks and chicken. Inside, she confronts him about the perfume. Chang-soo tries to explain, pleading that his feelings for her are genuine, but Ah-ra begins doubting the authenticity of her own emotions. As tensions rise, the perfume unexpectedly falls from Chang-soo's pocket, leaving Ah-ra stunned. Overwhelmed, she storms out, leaving Chang-soo devastated. The perfume is revealed to be part of an experiment. The chairman behind it had created the perfume to help his wife, who suffers from dementia. However, realizing the pain it caused, he orders all remaining bottles to be destroyed. Ah-ra decides to confront James, unaware that Chang-soo is following her. Upon arriving, she is shocked to find pictures and videos of her and Chang-soo. James reveals they were experiment subjects, explaining the perfume was designed to make Ah-ra see him as her first love. Devastated, Ah-ra learns that all her emotions and love for Chang-soo were manipulated by the perfume. Enraged, Chang-soo lunges at James, but is quickly overpowered. To prove his claim, James sprays the perfume, causing Ah-ra to momentarily see him as Chang-soo. Despite his injuries, Chang-soo rises to fight James again, only to be brutally beaten, horrifying Ah-ra. Driven by conviction, Ah-ra smashes the last bottle of perfume, leaving James shattered as his plans crumble before him. Ah-ra leaves, and Chang-soo chases after her, desperately trying to express his love and assure her it's real. However, Ah-ra, hurt by the lies and manipulation, declares her disbelief in love and walks away, leaving Chang-soo heartbroken. At home, Ah-ra is overwhelmed by memories of Chang-soo, leading to an emotional breakdown. Chang-soo, equally devastated, experiences the same turmoil. In the following scenes, Ah-ra stumbles upon Ah Young's live band performance and feels proud of her sister. Meanwhile, Chang-soo undergoes a noticeable transformation, becoming more composed and confident. Chang-soo takes the bus early, and to his surprise, Ah-ra steps onto the same bus. Their eyes meet, and they light up with joy. Greeting each other anew, they share a tender moment, gazing into each other's eyes, filled with love. First love truly is a beautiful thing.